Germany has become the dream destination for over 400,000 international students, but here's something that might shock you. Nearly 30% of them struggle financially or even drop out within their first year, not because they couldn't handle the academics, but because they underestimated the true cost of living and didn't properly plan their finances. Imagine spending months preparing your applications, securing admission to a prestigious German university, only to find yourself 3 months into your program, staring at an empty bank account, wondering how you'll afford next month's rent. This is the reality for thousands of students every year, but it doesn't have to be yours. Let me tell you about Priya, a student from India who arrived in Munich with what she thought was enough money saved up. She had read online that Germany offered free education, so she assumed her savings of 8,000 euros would easily last her first year. Within 4 months, she had burned through most of it, struggling to cover rent in one of Germany's most expensive cities, unexpected health insurance costs, and daily living expenses she hadn't properly researched. She found herself working the maximum allowed hours, her grades suffering, and seriously considering returning home. But then something changed. She connected with other international students who taught her the real strategies for financing studies in Germany. And by her second year, she not only stabilized her finances, but thrived. Today, I'm going to share everything you need to know about financing your studies in Germany as an international student, the real costs, the hidden expenses, the funding sources you probably haven't heard about, and the practical strategies that successful students use to not just survive, but actually enjoy their time studying in one of Europe's most welcoming countries for international education. Let's start with the truth about costs, because this is where most students get their first reality check. Yes, public universities in Germany charge little to no tuition fees for undergraduate and many graduate programs, usually just a semester contribution of around 200 to 400 euros that covers your semester ticket for public transportation and student services. This is genuinely amazing and one of the main reasons Germany attracts so many international students. However, and this is crucial, free tuition doesn't mean free living. The German government requires you to prove you have access to at least 11,904 euros per year before they'll issue your student visa. This isn't an arbitrary number. It's based on the average monthly expenses a student needs to live in Germany, which comes out to about 992 euros per month. But here's what they don't always tell you. This is a minimum, and depending on which city you choose, you might need significantly more. If you're studying in Munich, Hamburg, Frankfurt, or Stuttgart, you could easily need 1,200 to 1,500 euros monthly. Cities like Berlin, Cologne, and Düsseldorf fall somewhere in the middle at around 1,000 to 1,200 euros. Meanwhile, smaller university towns like Leipzig, Dresden, Jena, or Göttingen can be much more affordable, with students managing comfortably on 800 to 950 euros monthly. Rent alone will be your biggest expense, typically consuming 300 to 700 euros of your monthly budget, depending on the city, and whether you secure a spot in student dormitories, which are cheaper but highly competitive, or rent privately, which gives you more options but costs more. Now let's break down what that blocked account actually means, because this confuses many students. To get your student visa, you need to open what's called a blocked account, or Sparkonto, with a German bank before you arrive. You deposit the full annual amount of at least 11,904 euros into this account. But here's the catch. You can only withdraw a fixed amount each month, currently 992 euros. This ensures you don't spend all your money in the first few months and protects you from financial hardship. Several banks offer these accounts specifically for international students, including Deutsche Bank, Fintiba, and Expatrio. The process is entirely online. You apply from your home country, transfer the funds, receive confirmation documents, and use these for your visa application. The account typically costs between 50 to 150 euros in setup and monthly maintenance fees, which is another hidden cost to factor in. Some students make the mistake of thinking they can bypass this requirement or that showing proof of a scholarship will exempt them. But immigration authorities are strict about this. and without proper financial documentation, your visa will be rejected, wasting months of preparation time. Beyond the blocked account, let's talk about scholarships, because this is where smart planning can dramatically reduce your financial burden. The DAAD, which stands for Deutsche Akademische Austauschdienst or German Academic Exchange Service, is your most important resource. They offer hundreds of scholarships specifically for international students at various levels of study, from undergraduate to PhD programs. These scholarships typically cover not just a monthly stipend of 850 to 1,200 euros, but often include health insurance, travel allowances, and even German language course fees. The competition is tough, with acceptance rates sometimes below 10%, but the applications are evaluated holistically, considering your academic achievements, motivation, and how your studies align with development goals. Start your DAAD application at least a year before your intended start date, as deadlines are typically in November for programs starting the following October. Beyond DAAD, many German universities offer their own scholarships for international students. The Deutschland Stipendium provides 300 euros monthly to high-achieving students, regardless of nationality, and it's awarded by universities based on academic merit and social engagement. Some federal states also offer scholarships. For example, Baden-Württemberg has specific programs for students from developing countries. Don't overlook scholarships from your home country either. Many governments and organizations offer funding specifically for citizens studying abroad, and these can sometimes be easier to obtain because you're competing within a smaller national pool rather than internationally. Religious organizations, foundations, and political party-affiliated foundations in Germany also provide generous funding. The Konrad Adenauer Foundation, Friedrich Ebert Foundation, Heinrich Böll Foundation, and Rosa Luxemburg Foundation all offer scholarships that combine financial support with ideological or political education programs. These aren't just for political science students. They support all fields but look for students who share their values and want to engage with social issues. The Erasmus Plus program is another excellent option if you're coming from a partner university for a semester or year-long exchange, covering mobility costs and providing monthly stipends. Some students successfully combine multiple smaller scholarships and grants, creating a patchwork of funding that covers most of their expenses. The key is to start researching and applying early, be persistent, and don't get discouraged by rejections because even landing one scholarship can transform your financial situation.
Working while studying is another critical component of financing your education. And Germany actually offers quite favorable conditions for student employment compared to many countries. As an international student from outside the EU, you're allowed to work 140 full days or 280 half days per year without requiring special permission. This works out to about 20 hours per week during semester time, though you can work full-time during semester breaks. The current minimum wage in Germany is around 12.41 euros per hour, meaning if you work 20 hours weekly at minimum wage, you can earn roughly 1,000 euros per month before taxes. Many students work as research assistants at their universities, which pays better than minimum wage, typically 12 to 15 euros hourly, and provides relevant experience in your field. Other popular student jobs include working in libraries, cafeterias, as tutors, in retail, hospitality, or giving tours if you're in a tourist city. Some students leverage language skills by teaching their native language, working as translators, or creating content online. The University Career Center, called the Career Service, maintains job boards specifically for students and websites like StudentJob. They and Job Mensa specialize in part-time positions suitable for students. However, be realistic about balancing work and studies. German universities are academically rigorous, and many international students underestimate the workload, especially if studying in German. Your grades matter, particularly if you want to work in Germany after graduation. So prioritize your education and treat work as supplementary income rather than your primary funding source. Let's talk about reducing expenses because earning more isn't the only strategy. Spending less is equally important. Student discounts are everywhere in Germany if you know where to look. Your semester ticket alone saves you hundreds of euros monthly on transportation, usually covering all public transport within your city or sometimes the entire federal state. Always carry your student ID because museums, theaters, cinemas, concerts, and even some restaurants offer significant discounts, sometimes 50% off, for students. Food costs can be minimized by shopping at discount supermarkets like Aldi, Lidl, Netto, and Penny rather than more expensive chains. The university mensa or cafeteria offers subsidized meals for as little as 2 to 4 euros, which is far cheaper than eating out or even cooking elaborate meals. Buy seasonal produce, avoid prepackaged convenience foods, and consider meal prepping on weekends to save both time and money during busy study weeks. For accommodation, student dormitories managed by the student in work are your cheapest option, typically costing 250 to 400 euros monthly, including utilities, but apply immediately when you receive your admission because waiting lists can be long. If you rent privately, consider shared apartments called WG or Wohngemeinschaft, where you rent a room in an apartment with other students, splitting costs for common areas and making it more affordable than a single apartment. Websites like csgo are specifically for finding shared accommodations. Some students even find rent-free options through programs, where they live with elderly people in exchange for helping around the house a few hours per week, though these are rare and require good German language skills. Health insurance is mandatory and non-negotiable in Germany, and this is another cost international students sometimes overlook. If you're under 30 and studying a regular degree program, you'll pay around 110 to 120 euros monthly for public health insurance, which provides comprehensive coverage. This isn't optional. You cannot enroll at a German university without proof of health insurance, and the university will check this during registration. Some students from certain countries might be able to use their home country insurance if there's a reciprocal agreement, but this is rare and usually only covers emergencies, not comprehensive care. Private insurance can sometimes be cheaper when you first arrive, but switching back to public insurance later becomes difficult or impossible. And private insurance doesn't cover everything public insurance does. So most advisors recommend starting with public insurance from day one. There are also creative and less conventional funding strategies that resourceful students employ. Crowdfunding through platforms explaining your story and educational goals has worked for some students, particularly if they have a compelling narrative or come from underrepresented backgrounds. Some students offer their skills as freelancers online, doing graphic design, web development, writing, or virtual assistants for clients worldwide, earning in stronger currencies while studying. Content creation through YouTube, blogs, or social media about the international student experience can eventually generate income through sponsorships or ads, though this takes time to build. Participating in paid research studies conducted by universities, particularly in psychology, medicine, or social sciences, can provide occasional additional income. Some students even start small businesses, like organizing events for international students, selling handmade goods, or offering services to the international community. Though this requires entrepreneurial spirit and careful attention to visa regulations regarding self-employment, planning ahead is absolutely crucial. Start saving as early as possible, even small amounts add up over time, and having a buffer beyond the minimum requirements protects you from emergencies or unexpected expenses. Research your specific program and city thoroughly. Costs vary dramatically, and choosing a more affordable city can save you thousands annually without compromising education quality. Create a detailed budget before arriving, tracking expected income from all sources and all anticipated expenses, including one-time costs like deposits, furniture, kitchen supplies, and initial groceries. Consider arriving a few weeks early if possible to find accommodation and settle in before the semester pressure begins. Though this means additional expenses without income, so factor this into your financial planning. Connect with other international students online before arriving. Facebook groups for international students at your specific university are goldmines of practical advice, housing tips, and sometimes even job opportunities. These connections can also help with the emotional adjustment, which indirectly affects your financial success because homesickness and stress can lead to poor financial decisions. The reality is that financing your studies in Germany requires careful planning, resourcefulness, and often combining multiple strategies simultaneously. The students who succeed financially aren't necessarily those with the most money initially, but those who plan thoroughly, adapt quickly, stay informed about opportunities, and maintain discipline with their spending. Germany genuinely offers an incredible opportunity for quality education at a fraction of what you pay in countries like the United States, United Kingdom, or Australia. But that opportunity comes with the responsibility of managing your finances intelligently. Start preparing at least a year before your intended start date. Save aggressively. Apply for every scholarship you're eligible for. Research your destination city exhaustively and arrive with a clear financial plan and a backup plan. Remember that thousands of international students successfully finance their German education every year. Coming from all economic backgrounds and with the right preparation and strategies, you can be one of them, building not just academic qualifications but life skills in financial management, cultural adaptation, and resilience that will serve you throughout your career.